Welcome to the stream. I am Dan, your friendly fishmonger at dansfish.com. We do the stream every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That is 9 Eastern. For those of you who might be mountain challenged, we're going to start today with our shipping report. After that, we're going to talk about our giveaway. And then after that, I'm going to tell you about a couple really cool fish we just got in here at Dan's Fish. And then we'll get to your questions and comments. I just had some cashews. Hang on. I got to rinse my mouth out. We had an import come in this evening, and so I did not have time to go home for dinner. So I had some cashews in my backpack here, so I just, snarfed some of those down real quick to tide me over. Oh yeah, I think I'm okay now. I didn't want like little chunks of cashew. Yeah, that'd be gross on camera. I think I'm good. All right, so let's get to it. So the giveaway, not the giveaway, so the shipping report. So for those that might be new, what we do is every week we give a shipping report. We tell you what percentage of the fish that we've shipped to our customers have arrived alive and in good shape as reported by our customers over the last 12 months rolling. So this is the most important number in our business. We're trying to do it here at Dan's Fish is make it so our customers are successful with the fish we send them. That they get fish which are healthy and which will thrive for them long term instead of getting fish that, arrive DOA. That can happen, or the alternative is they arrive and they seem okay, but then a few days later they're dead. That happens way too often. So we do a lot of work to try to make sure that they arrive in good shape. And so last time we talked, we were at 98.82% success, and we are still holding steady at 98.82% success, sending fish to our customers that arrive alive and in good shape. So you have just under 1% chance of having or just slightly over 1% chance of having a problem. You're almost not going to have a problem statistically. Typically what happens is there's usually no problems for everybody except for one or two orders where there's significant problems. So that's always a bummer when the bell curve hits an order and affects one person. If that happened to you this week, I apologize. I'm really sorry. I know that's a huge bummer. But 98.82% of the time, our fish are going to get to you what we like to call fat and sassy. That's how we like them. All right. With the shipping report, now it's time to talk about the giveaway. We're going to give away something pretty cool today. It is this. It is an L411 Monte Dourado Pleco. Here's a picture that we have on our website. Chris Lukup took this picture. Thanks, Luke. Thanks, Chris, for letting us use this. And I love it when I Google a fish and we're the first picture that shows up. That's pretty awesome. How we doing in just regular search? Probably not. Oh, we're second under Planet Catfish. I'll take it. I'll take it. Number 2 and number 1 on the pictures. That's can't complain about that. We're doing something right here at Dan's Fish. Anyway, we have one of these. He's about 4 inches. Say 3 to 5, just to be safe. But I think around 4 inches. And that's just about full grown for these guys. Beautiful fish. Have these really nice worm patterns on them. And they're pretty stunning. It's almost like a Queen Arabesque, but in reverse, where these have more white, and on the Queen Arabesque, they're not quite the same. It's like reversed. See this? They have thin lines, but they're mostly black, whereas the Monte Dourado has fairly thin lines, but they're mostly white. So I don't know. That's kind of what I think of them as, like a reverse Queen Arabesque. Probably not accurate at all, but that's where my mind goes. So, ooh, is that one? Oh yeah, I have to see. That's crazy. No, that's a different catfish. Oh no, that is one. Holy cow, that one looks Queen Arabesque-ish for sure. That one's really dark. Anyway, that's what is going to be given away today. So if you think you could give a good home to that fish, then stick around. We'll let you know how to enter the giveaway moment in a little while, and we'll draw a winner. What's that? Skittle Puke has joined up. Thank you. Thank you for becoming a member of the Fishmonger crew. You are now an honorary Danny-O, or Danny-O-Nella. And by the way, Skittle Puke, great name. Great name. It's like unicorn vomit. Skittle Puke. All right. So, couple things that I want to show you. This is a fish that people have been requesting and I've been looking for. I'm happy to say we have a nice batch in right now. It's this. Calling him the Red Devil Hillstream Loach. Gastromyzon catibacensis. Yeah, I can go with Katie. Catibacensis. Just an absolutely stunning loach. Just beautiful. Now, the ones we have are, I don't know, 1.25 to 1.75 inches. They're just barely starting to get a tiny bit of red on them. So they don't look like these yet, but they are getting a little bit of red on the tail that's coming in. So just be warned, they're not big. So they're not going to show up big, mature adults with all the color, but you can see it coming. So really excited to finally have this fish in. It's one that's been requested for a long time. I've been looking and finally got him. Then the next one that I want to show you, I'm going to turn off the volume here because this is a video. We got some freshwater moray eels in. This is the true freshwater eel. These guys spend all their adult lives in freshwater except for when they go to the ocean to spawn briefly and then go back to freshwater. So, oh, that's it. I was trying to show you when he was eating the bloodworms. I thought that was really cool to show you how well he was eating. Hang on. I think I loaded the wrong video. Let me get a better video. I can go here and here and oh, here it is. Download that one. Okay, just a moment. I promise it'll be worth it. Okay, get out of there. Go here. Yeah, I'll just show you full screen. That works. Okay. So here he is. They're eating really well on frozen bloodworms and frozen brine shrimp. We also put like, you know, our little baby guppies in there and stuff. If we have a fish with like a bent spine or missing a fin that we can't sell, sometimes we'll put it in there if it's healthy. But mostly they don't eat a lot of the fish. Mostly they're eating the frozen foods. They'll eat dry foods as well. We haven't trained them to that yet, but I've seen, I know folks that have transitioned them to dry food. And these guys are going to get big. These guys are going to top, in aquariums, normally around 3 feet or so. Biggest one I've ever heard of documented, probably in nature, was just under 5 feet. So these are going to need a big tank. The literature says they're fairly peaceful, that you can keep them in groups if you want, or individually is fine, and that they have some hierarchical nipping and such, but that they usually don't damage each other. And for a moray eel, they're downright gregarious. This is one that I've admired from afar for a long, long time, and have wanted for a long, long time, but I generally don't get fish in here at dansfish.com that I wouldn't be able to keep long term, you know, when they're full grown adults. Almost never do I do that. Every now and then there's a fish though that is in so high in demand and so hard to find that I'm like, okay, I'll bring a few in. So I think I have 15. You know, didn't go crazy, but I'm sure there's 15 people out there in the world that have big enough tanks that they could house these full time, you know, even when they're full grown adults, take good care of them, that have been looking for this fish and want it. So that's why I brought in a few. I don't want to contribute to the problems with, like, you know, another red-tailed catfish that is going to grow too large and not be able to find a proper home. Or a pacu, or, you know, there are fish that you can get cheap and small, and they're pretty awesome until they bust your tank and get too big for you to take care of properly. And they grow so big that almost nobody can care for them properly. They just don't have the space to properly house them. So I don't want to contribute to that. I think in general, when monster fish are brought in, almost a lot of the time, they're doomed to not have a good life just because the average aquarist can't take care of them long term. Now, there are some excellent monster fish keepers out there, so I'm not throwing any shade on that part of the hobby. I think if you can care for them properly, they're amazing. I love Rich Brierly's setup that he has. It's a massive, I don't know, pond basically, but it's above ground, like comes up to your chest with big ripsaw catfish and stuff like that in it. Like there are ways to do this properly, but there are a lot of fish that are monster fish that are just like everywhere. Like the supply way overwhelms the demand, and the price point is so cheap that people buy them anyway, even though they can't care for them. And so that's a problem. So I'm always really careful, is what I'm trying to say, when I bring in a fish that's, you know, going to grow into a legitimate monster fish, if you will. So this one I think is fine. A lot of people want it, hard to get. And I've got some, and they're healthy, by the way. They're eating awesome. They've already gained weight in the few weeks we've had them. So I think they're going to do well for people. Anyway, that's why I got the true freshwater moray eel, or sometimes called tiger moray eel. We're combining that and calling them the true freshwater tiger moray eel to try to, you know, make it so if you Google either of those, you get us. Yeah. So anyway, those are a couple really cool fish that we just listed today. Tomorrow, I'm going to be listing a whole bunch more. And let me just read you the list of stuff we're getting in. So we have more Melanitania calitawa that should be ready to go. I have to do the final health checks. I should say that. And maybe I shouldn't even do this. Well, it's too late. I started. So we have a final health check to do. And if they don't pass that, they won't be listed for a while. That means we've still got some quarantine to do. We've still got some work to do to get them healthy. But provided that these are all healthy, tomorrow I plan to list Melanitania calitawa, Bosemani from Lake Itinjo, some Stiphodon areofuscus. I have to show you this one. It's just too cool for those that don't know this fish. This is one that isn't around often, and I don't know why. I think it's absolutely stunning. So I guess I know why. Most of these pictures are not doing it justice at all. This is the best picture I was able to get. It's still a bad picture, but look at the amount of red in the fins. And you combine that with this really, really high contrast pattern on the body, and they're active and they flare a lot. Okay, here you go. Here's a pretty good picture. I just think that they are absolutely stunning. Oh, I like that picture. That's pretty good. So that's one you just don't see very often. Oh, also, we were able to get some more Rudolarius. Finally, this is one we can only get a few times a year. We really like this fish. But look at these beauties. They're as pretty as an Annie. It's a toss-up between this one and Annie, I think, as to what the prettiest Stiphodon goby is. Here's Annie. Like, boom. They're absolutely stunning. Aquarium Glasser nailed it. And I don't think this is oversaturated or anything. They really do just glow like a neon sign. But Rudolarius does too. God, that's kind of picking it up. Okay, is this? I don't know if that's Rudolarius. The problem is the pictures. Okay, that's getting close. Are you going to get into focus? Oh, no, that's out of focus. It's getting close. That's out of focus too. Anyway, Rudolarius is gorgeous, and I think it's a toss-up between it and Annie for the prettiest. Was I not showing that this whole time? Hang on. You're not showing. Yeah, of course. Sorry, guys. So here's a good picture. Shows you some of the color, but it's not really focused well. I don't know if this is rudolari, so let's find out. Yeah, it is. Okay, here, this shows it. Look how absolutely vibrant this is. You're not seeing the lace pattern on the fins because the fins are not open in this picture. But that gives you an idea of how bright they get. So imagine that bright with this pattern. Which one shows? This shows the pattern pretty strongly in the fins, but not the color on the body, right? So really gorgeous. And Annie is the one that vies for first place. This is Annie. And like I was saying, I don't think this is an exaggeration. They really do flare up like that and are just absolutely stunning. Okay, sorry I wasn't showing it earlier. Sometimes my brain doesn't brain. What else? Oh, some more Tanga half-beaks. I think my favorite of the dwarf half-beaks. Hamir Hamphrodon. See if I can just search Tanga half-beak and find it. Yeah. So here you go. So what I like about them is this is a small half-beak. And do you see this bright gold, like dashed pattern here? It really glows on the fish. I didn't pick it up well on this picture, but it glows on the fish, and it can be gold or blue. Okay, this is, there you go. You can kind of see the blue iridescent line there. Okay, that shows it as greenish, but it gives you an idea. This dark spot with this really iridescent border on it. I just think they're stunning. We did get some Florida flag fish, some more Lepidogaster, Gastromyzon Lepidogaster. I should show that one too. Geez. This is like a neon fish. So here's the best picture I was able to get. You can kind of see the bright iridescence on the back, but I didn't get it really well. This shows it better. This one is kind of a reddish specimen, but this is an iridescent color. Not as iridescent as like a Stiphodon, but pretty iridescent. This gives you an idea. See this red iridescence on the body? Is that, can I get that bigger? Yeah, I don't want to take any cookies right now. Anyway, that's a really cool one, and very seldom. Ours are the green, not the red. Ours are the green. So something more like this. If you imagine this kind of yellow-green on it, more glowing. There you go. You can kind of see the iridescence on that one. Yeah, really, really cool fish. Some more of the black Autosynclus. Oh, the L411. Yes. Look at these guys. These are one of the most red of the Plecos. Like, just absolute stunners. Like an Allen-Kier, like a 397, but more red on them. Clastellifer is the species name. Yeah, that one is a stunner. Oh, green laser cories. Yes. Green laser cories. These guys. Here's one picture I took of a previous batch. Under my light, they looked more blue, but it is the same fish. It just depends on the light you have on them. This one's looking more green. But what I like about the ones we get in from this breeder is they have this iridescence on the side, not just the laser across them. So it's, of all the green lasers I've seen, I think this is the best strain because they just have more going on the body than is typical. So what else is super cool? Oh, Gertrudes from RU4. Finally, I know a lot of you have been waiting a long time. Gertrude Aru4. Okay, let me show you why I like this fish so much. This is why I like this fish so much, because it's got these bright yellow to orange tips on the fins. And when they spread their fins and dance, and those bright tips do their thing, it's just an absolutely stunning fish. This is an RO2, so it's not quite the same, but it gives you the idea of, imagine these are, you know, well, that's pretty good actually. Yeah, I don't know that there's a big difference between the RO2 and the RO4. And the reason that's so special is your typical Gertrude looks like this. It's still a cool fish, but it doesn't have those orange tips on it, right? It's got, you know, still a nice spotted, kind of beautiful, really neat fish, but it's lacking all that kind of extra pizzazz, if you will. So I describe them as the RO4s as a Gertrude that's dressed up for its wedding. Like it got extra gussied up today. It looks good normally, but this is the best it's ever gonna look in its life. Sorry, you married? You peaked. I mean, you could always just get married again, peak again. Why not? You're not too old. All right. Oh, the Classio Creek. Melanitania Classio Creek. Okay. This fish has an amazing story. It's beautiful, absolutely stunning, but also it almost doesn't exist in the wild. And here is why. Oh, it can't be reached? Come on. Angfa, don't let me down. Yeah, okay, Angfa can't be reached. Well, that's weird. Okay, let's try one more time. No. Okay, what if we click on the visit instead of the picture? No. Angfa is adamant. Okay, here is their habitat. So this is a karst. So what this does is there is like this little creek flows underground most of the way, right? But there's this little spot where it peaks up above the surface of the earth, comes up from underground, and for, I don't know, a mile and a half, a few kilometers, it flows above ground, and then it goes back underground. This is Classio Creek. This is their habitat. That's their only habitat. It's just this little couple kilometers or so, few kilometers area where this underground creek comes to the surface and then it disappears. That's it. It's a very limited habitat. It would take one disaster to wipe that out. Someone spraying, I don't know, Roundup or something on a crop nearby, or, you know, just some little thing like that could wipe out that whole habitat. And that's why it's so special to have this fish in, because of that. It's just due to the nature of its natural habitat, it's always going to be at risk. Let's see, here's some wine milleri. Oh, here's one, Corydoras julii. Now almost all the Corydoras julii available in the trade are not Corydoras julii, they are Corydoras trilineatus. That's what all the julicories are. But I know one breeder who breeds the true form. From Piau is the location. And here's how you tell the difference. Let's see if we can see this bigger. There it is. The true julii has dots on the forehead. And the false julii, the Corydoras trilineatus, has dashes on the head. So that's the difference. Now, if you just want a pretty fish for your aquarium, it doesn't matter. Like, they both look great. But if you're a Cory nerd and you want the actual true julii, we've got them. I think we've got like 10. Like, they don't produce many of them. 10, maybe 20. We don't have a lot of them. And we're only able to get them like, I don't know, it's been 2 years since we've had them. So that's a pretty cool one if you're, you know, a catfish nerd. Yeah, there's some other cool stuff there too, but I think I've talked long enough about that. So that's the kind of stuff that we'll be releasing tomorrow. Hopefully I can get it all done tomorrow. If not, it'll spill into Friday. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Had an import today, had an import Monday, and I have another one coming in Monday. So we're bringing in a lot of really cool stuff. Let's see here. JR says, can I mix different gobies? I got Anier and Dwarf Gold Neons from you, and I was thinking of adding those new ones you showed me. Yeah, you can mix Diffidons, no problem. Absolutely. Yep, not a problem. Okay, let's see here. That was where are we at? I think we're at the point in the live stream where we're going to just start getting your questions and comments. Before we do, we're going to thank our moderators for being here and moderating, because they volunteer their time to do this. They ain't getting paid. They're just here helping out. So that's pretty awesome. Thank you for volunteering. I really appreciate you doing that. Before we do that, though, we're going to do one little thing, which is we're going to go ahead and do this giveaway. So this giveaway is for an L411 Monte Dourado Pleco, these beauties. It's a Hypancistrus species, and all the Hypancistrus are pretty awesome. They don't get too big, which is great. They're a manageable size, so they don't, like the common Pleco, they don't come out and bust your tank. And also, something you might not know about them is they need a lot of protein in their diet. They're not like an Ancistrus, a bushy nose, that eats mostly vegetation and needs some animal protein. These are mostly animal protein with a little bit of vegetation. So feed them protein pellets and that kind of stuff. We feed ours frozen bloodworms, frozen brine shrimp, protein pellets, but we do also rotate in algae wafers and other vegetable matter, and we'll often drop in some zucchini for them to eat as well. But if you add some of these and some Ancistrus, some bushy nose, and you put in some zucchini in each tank, you would see that the Ancistrus eat it much, much quicker. They go for the veggies much more than these do. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and start this. So if you would like to win a pretty Pleco, then enter hashtag pretty Pleco, hashtag PRETTYPLECO. No spaces, capitalization does not matter. It's not case sensitive. And if you do that starting now, then you'll be entered to win the giveaway. And in a little bit here, we will start drawing this sucker. So here, any plans on restocking the L306 Blood Tiger Pleco? Yeah, we have more in stock. And what is that? Clostifer? We have more in stock, and I plan to list them tomorrow or the next day, provided they pass their final health inspection. So we have for those that don't know, we're hell-bent on making sure that the fish we send you are healthy. Seems like that should be normal, but it's not. It takes a lot of work and a lot of resources to make that happen. So we do a 2-week quarantine period, and they get their health checked during that period. And before we list them for sale, we do one final health check. So provided they pass that, they'll be listed tomorrow or the next day. If we find something wrong, then, you know, we'll have to take some more time to get them healthy. But I think most of these fish are looking really good. So hopefully they pass and I can list them all. Yeah. All right. So while people are entering to win a really awesome Hypancistrus type Pleco, we're going to read some comments. The Scrum TV. You guys shipped my Empire Gudgeons today. I'm super excited. Thank you for the great service. Well, you're welcome. And I hope you love them. They've started coloring up. The larger males are starting to get that bright, bright orange. Okay, another awesome fish. One day I'm going to have a tank just full of these. Look at this. This is not an exaggeration. They are bright orange with black and white in a way that just makes them absolutely pop. And the males develop a nuchal hump with time, which is stunning. The females, no, they have a little more, yeah, they can look kind of like that. Females don't have much color. but the males sure do, and they are just a joy to watch. I have a video somewhere of them spawning that's on the YouTube channel, and let me see if I can find it. Empire. So here's a picture that we took of one of ours that was nicely colored up. That's a, like, you know, professional photo. I can't do that. This guy is about 1.5 inches and starting to get some color. And yeah, so just absolutely awesome. And I don't know where the video is. I think it's on the YouTube channel. But yeah, good choice, man. One of the coolest fish out there. To get Dan's attention, add @DansFish to your question or comment. That's right. If you do that, it'll turn bright orange for me, and that's what I look for as I chat. I generally skip all these ones and just look for the orange and the orange and the orange. So that's how we manage this. Hey, Stephen P. 2003, good to see you. I hope you and yours are doing really well. Okay, I think that's long enough for the giveaway. We're going to go ahead and draw this sucker, because if I don't draw it soon, chat will crash, and then you know what happens. So the winner is Tout Poison? Tout Poison. Yeah. Congratulations, you have won an L411 Monte Dourado Pleco. You have 2 minutes to chime in the chat. Leave a comment in the chat sometime before that 2-minute timer is up, before this gets to 2 minutes, and you'll have qualified. If you don't leave a comment in 2 minutes, if that reaches 2 minutes or more than 2 minutes, I should say, before you, oh, there it is. Tout Poison has won. Congratulations, you've actually done it. The last thing I need you to do is to send me an email tonight. hello@dansfish.com. That's HELLO@dansfish.com. Please do that tonight before midnight. That would be great. I need your first name, your last name, and your mailing address, so I know who I'm sending them to and where I'm sending them. And then we will get that scheduled to ship out to you, and we'll send those out Monday for delivery on Tuesday, if that works for you. All right. Okay, now that we're done that, let's get to more questions and comments. Let's see here. That was 302 folks were here. Let's see if they all go away now the drawing's done. Yeah, 295. All right, you freeloaders. All right. Let's see here. Donnie Main, are you getting longfin neons anytime soon? Oh man, maybe, Donnie. People keep requesting them. 287. The problem is their fins are pretty ragged, and I used to think it was because maybe they were delicate and got damaged in shipping and they would heal, but it doesn't appear to be that. It appears that they just kind of grow ragged. And so when we ship them to customers think they have fish with like badly damaged fins, even though it kind of appears that that's a 272, that's how how they just are. And so that creates unsatisfied customers, 265, and I just don't want customers to have that experience, so that's why I have not been bringing them in. Divide by zero, error. I'm trying to breed both species of Ivanacara. How would you recommend lowering pH from 7.4 to 6.5 safely? I would use an RO unit for sure, and get some tannic acid and fulvic acid in there with an RO unit. You might want to remineralize just a little bit. You might want to cut it with your tap water just a little bit to have some minerals in there. But that's what I would do. Donald Hall, our neon green hyphen swordtail dropped another 30 fry today and then promptly died. Bummer. Oh, I'm sorry. Sounds like it was a difficult delivery. I'm glad you got some fry before that happened. I mean, that can happen with female live bears, just like with mammals or any other species, I suppose. Like, they're giving birth, if you will, to something that's a lot bigger, more developed than your average fish of their size would do. So that can be pretty hard on them. Really sorry that happened. Green Shield, I'm looking for some really nice barbs and some killifish for a 75 gallon. What would you recommend that could go with 2 angels and several cories? Angelfish get big enough they can eat a lot of killies, so I wouldn't go with your typical killies. I'd maybe go with like something big like a blue Galaris, which hopefully I'll have some available in a couple weeks. You could do like Lamprichthes. This would be good. These get big enough. This fish, the Tanganyikan lampi killifish, is a beautiful fish that gets females full grown 3 inches, males full grown 5 inches, something like that. They're rapid swimmers. They kind of remind me of a giant danio and how quickly they swim, or maybe a Chilotharina rainbow fish, just constant activity. Very beautiful, robin's egg blue with gold, and they get big enough that I think that they would go great. Now, how big did you say your tank was? 75 gallon? Yeah, I think that those would go fine. But, you know, blue Galaris or another of the larger ones is, I would start with size and narrow it down from there. Oh, we have some giant rivulus. Yeah, okay. Why didn't I think of this earlier? Giant rivulus. Okay, these guys. These will grow up to 5 inches. They used to be called rivulus hardtii. Now they changed the name to Anablepsoides. They turn into a really pretty fish. A big, beautiful fish. Look at this. Iridescent metallic blues and greens with rows of red dots and a lot of color on the tail. Like for a rivulus, this is absolutely stunning. So that's one that might work too. Right now, they're small enough that a full-grown angelfish might be able to eat them, but they're getting big quickly. Monster Fish Gal, the puffers and eel came in great, all doing good, thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm glad to hear it. Those are some pretty special fish. We've had them for quite a while, so we're a little attached to them. John, the stir-fry guy. I got a pair of Empire Gudgeons from you a few years back, and the female also developed red with age. Yeah, they'll get some red. Did she get she didn't look like a male though, right? She just had like a male kind of, a red kind of hue to her, or did she develop like bright red? And do you have pictures? Like, I would love to see that. That's good to know, John. Our maiden, I have 29-gallon community tank. Our water in eastern Washington is rock hard, 301 plus, and will we have any issues with rams as our showcase species? Anything we can do to decrease the hardness? Well, our maiden, my water is also rock hard. The calcium carbonate alone is 300 parts per million, and that doesn't count the other minerals. So the rams we have are used to that. So I don't think, if you're looking for a nice community tank with rams that look beautiful, I think you'll be just fine. They color up and they eat and they're awesome. Now, if you want to breed them, the hard water might affect the ability of the eggs to develop properly. They might develop like a hard calcium coating so they don't hatch right, or it might affect the gametes, so fertilization is difficult. But if you're not worried about breeding them and you just want to keep them and have beautiful fish, yeah, ours are kept in harder water than yours, so that should work. I want to breed my rose lines. Got any wisdom for me? Shushant Sudala, I don't. I suspect that most of the ones that are bred probably use hormones. I don't know for sure, but that's my suspicion. From my reading in the wild, they only breed during the monsoon season. Now, I don't know everything, so I could be wrong, but from what I recall when I was researching them deeply, it's been a few years, but what I recall is that they breed during the monsoon season. So they're seasonal breeders. But in the industry, they're bred year-round, which makes me think they're probably using hormones. But as far as naturally breeding them in aquariums, I think it's kind of tied to weather. So anything you could do to mimic a monsoon would be my best advice, but I don't know much about it. I honestly think it's not done naturally usually. Amy, yes, it's pronounced like Tupasson. It's French. Tupasson. Which fish name did I butcher? Oh, I don't even know what we're talking about now, Amy. Yes. You're trying to teach me, and I'm trying to learn, but I don't know what you're teaching me about. Tu poisson. What fish? What fish were we talking about? I don't know. Which fish is that? Ahmed Magdi. Can you please bring in some least killifish? I can't find them in my LFS. That's probably not one I would bring in, to tell you the truth, and I'll tell you why. Let's look at these. Least killifish. Neoheterandria formosa. Not a killifish at all. A live bear, obviously. I mean, look at that male. Obviously a live bear. Really neat fish. Tiny little guys. The males are just absolutely tiny. The problem is they're aggressive little mofos. So they'll nip fins. They'll create all kinds of problems. And the price point's really low on them. So that's kind of like some strikes against them. But the other problem is they're not one that's available commonly along the supply chain. So they're not one I can source easily. I could probably find someone in Florida that I could source them from. And maybe I'll bring in a batch once just to try them at some point, but I'm not at that point right now. They really are little jerks, though. Yeah. River Imenberg, are you getting sunshine plecos in anytime soon? I have one or two that I hope to be listing, if not this week, next week. So yeah, I have a few, but not many at all. All right, Dan, the khaki nurse. When you started the drawing, you weren't showing the pictures of the pleco. Can you show them again? Oh, really? Yes. Are you talking about this pleco? I didn't show this? Oh, what a dunce. I'm such a dunce. Anyway, this is the one that Chris Luca took. This is, see these nice little worm patterns on them. Did I do that whole spiel about them at the beginning and not show them? Look at that one. Nice worm pattern on those guys. It's the L411. Sorry about that. The other Dan, the khaki nurse. Harley Cross, do you plan on getting in Ivanacara Adokita? I got Bimaculata from you and I'm obsessed with them. Adokita's harder. The supplier I used to purchase them from no longer breeds them. That was Thomas from Shoreline Aquatics. He's now focusing pretty much solely on Altum Angels. And so, yeah, the breeder I used to get them from no longer has them. So until that changes, then that's not one I'm going to be able to get in. Lush and Salty Aquariums. What a great name. Lush and Salty. That sounds like a delicious appetizer. That spectacular orange goby rivals and beats saltwater gobies. I bet they're expensive. They are expensive, but they're not very expensive when compared to saltwater. I think that the Rudolarius is about $29.99, I believe, and the Anies are $49.99, so it's pricey, but I mean, if you're comparing them to saltwater, it's nothing. Donnie Main, did you get pygmy half-beaks? I have not yet. I am looking. I want them, but I've not been able to source them yet. I've never found anyone that carried them, wanted some for years. Me too. It's been a year or more since I've last had them. Yeah, but I do plan to bring them in. I think they're absolutely fantastic little fish. I want to bring those in, and I want to bring in the marble half-beak. I'm sorry, you said half-beak there. I was thinking hatchets, pygmy hatchets and marble hatchets. The pygmy half-beak, which one is that? What is a pygmy half-beak? What's the species? Coletti. No, I've never seen Coletti available. Oh, I'd really like to, but I've literally, not that I remember anyway, I've literally, Donnie, never seen that available. Kayla's Reptiles and Aquatics putting a little pep in our step with a Pippi Longstocking cheerleader super chat. Thank you, Bob. I hope you're doing awesome. And thanks for the super chat. Always appreciated, never required. But as you know, we're the little company that can. So every bit of help is appreciated. Romulus Cathal. Roughly how big a pond would I need for an L55 Black Adonis? I don't know. I rarely deal with large fish. So I don't even know how big a Black Adonis gets. I know it gets big, but I don't know how big exactly. Most fish that grow into monsters, I look at them and I'm like, that's cool. But then I move on. I've got so many fish to learn about that are of a size that I'll normally carry and sell that it's hard for me to research all the other stuff as well. What is your recommendation for a durable species to keep in a Wallstad method low-tech 3-gallon? Heavily planted with floating plants as well. I've never used the Wallstad method, but let's imagine that it's a little 3-gallon tank with lots of plants and that its parameters are stable and you're not going to get too much ammonia in there and all that stuff. All that being said, in a tank like that, I think like clown killies would be awesome. They're not like rapid swimmers. They'll enjoy the plants. Let's show people what we're talking about. Most of you know, but in case you don't, there's some new folks here. This is a clown killifish. A neat little nano fish, really beautiful. Here's the males. Here's a female. Males have more color, but they both have this bold pattern on them. And they really like plants to hang out in. So that's one. 3 gallons. It says they're not rapid swimmers. I don't think a small tank would cramp their style at all. I mean, I mean, there's, bettas, that's always an option. Yeah, I'm really, my mind just keeps going back to the clown killie. I think that's a cool one. Is there a dwarf killie or one that is too small to eat baby nano shrimp? No, I think they would all eat baby nano shrimp. Even threadfin rainbows will eat baby nano shrimp, and they have really small mouths. The problem is a lot of these diminutive little fish, that's literally what they're programmed to eat, is tiny little crustaceans and stuff like that. So that to them, just they see that and it's completely instinctual. They're gonna eat it. So yeah, I'm sorry, I can't think of one. Okay, John the Stir Fry guy talking about the female Empire Gudgeon says she's pretty decent red if I feed a pretty good diet, and this pair has had successful spawn, so definitely a female. Oh, that's really cool. John, if you get a chance, would you send me a picture or video of her? hello@dancefish.com is the email. HELLO@dancefish.com. I would just really like to see her. Any L519s coming in soon? I hope so. I think I'll be able to release some later this week, provided they pass their health inspection, but I only have a few. So add them to your wish list. If you go to dancefish.com, let me show you this. For those that might not know. Okay, just a second here. There we go. Okay. If you go to the homepage, here's the homepage at dancefish.com, and you scroll down, you'll see this, the wish list. And if you click on that, you'll see, just a moment here, it's going to load all of our items. But if you click on that, this is on my wish list. If you don't want it on your wish list, just click this and it'll leave your wish list. If you want to add something to your wish list, go here and click add to wish list. And it's that easy. Or another way you can do this is you can just search the fish you want. We were talking about L519s, and click add to wish list here. And then what happens is if you do that, the moment something is listed for sale on our website, you'll get an email notification. So you've got a chance of getting stuff, especially when we only have a few of them and they're high demand like the L519 Plecos. PJ Oasis, hey, thanks for the super chat. Much appreciated. Dan, I hope you're doing well. Greetings from Colorado. Priscilla. Priscilla? The Priscilla? The MK Art Priscilla? Really? I hope you're doing awesome. If this is you, sister, I'm really excited. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing awesome. Oh, so good to hear from you. Our maiden says, thanks for answering my question. Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for asking. Thanks for participating. Thanks for making it, lively in the chat. Nothing worse than a chat where nothing happens. Then I'm sitting here being like, what should we talk about now? What do you think the average lifespan of the Anabantoids, wild bettas, and the betta falx? I don't know. I don't know what average lifespan is. I would guess that they could live, 5 years. I don't think that's crazy. 3 to 5 years, I say, would be in the ballpark. Yeah. River Imenberg. Are you going to have some? Already got that one. Javier Taino, good to hear from you again. Will you carry discus again anytime soon? Not anytime soon, but I do hope to carry them again. When I was in Sacramento speaking at the Findig a couple weeks ago, we went to a pet store there that has a ton of discus, and it made me. I got a hankering pretty bad for more discus. Ooh, chat jumped big time. Hang on, I'm gonna scroll. Might not be able to get. Oh yeah, cut off some stuff. It appears one of my gold roselines is blind. Any advice to help it thrive in a community setup? I want to be sure it's eating enough. Yes, feed at night. Feed after the lights go out when the other fish can't feed as well. The roseline barbs have sensory barbels on their mouths, and they can feed even when they can't see. So that's what I would do. I would feed at night, and that'll help. The other thing I've done is I'll feed fish over here, and then I'll go where the roseline barb is, and I'll take some pellets or flakes in my hand and actually put my hand in the water and kind of flip them towards it. So it kind of goes out in a cloud, and it senses it, and then it starts feeding. So those are two things to do, but feeding at night really helps. Seville Steve, happy to report that this week I distributed 175 J-barbs among 7 local fish stores here. They want more, but J-barbs only spawn in March and September. Can I tell you how jealous I am of those stores? Oh man, that's a barb that I want so bad. But congrats, Seville Steve, that's exciting. That is. Okay, I know I've done this before, but I'm assuming some folks here are new. Check this out. Check this stunner out. Look at these. These absolutely stunning, neat little barbs from Africa that you almost never find. I love them. And one day I'm going to have some. Like, even people like me that have access to lots of stuff still have trouble getting some stuff. And, that still makes it interesting. There's always something new to track down and figure out. So things aren't going to get old. Oh, this is a weird time to do this, but I just glanced up at my computer and saw my little sticky here about the 4th of July to remind me to tell you guys that we're having our annual Dance Fish Barbecue here in Sheridan, Wyoming on July 4th this year. So let's see here. I'm going to put the address down here so you guys know where it is. You can Google it and everything. Fish. It's at 3453. And there we go. Yeah, our annual 4th of July barbecue will be on July 4th this year, go figure. It just depends on where it falls, but July 4th, I believe, was a, let's see, it's a Friday, so we figure that that'll work pretty well for people to be able to travel and stuff. You probably have the 3rd off. If you don't, all you have to do is take 1 day off, and then you get plenty of time for traveling and stuff. So that's why we went with that this year. All right. What is your favorite rainbow fish? Oh, that's hard. That's a hard one, Henry Wolf. I think whichever one's flaring and dancing at the moment, but I think right now it's Kalitawa. I mean, it's hard to beat this thing. Look at the blaze on that sucker. I mean, look at this thing. It's absolutely stunning. It's small. It's, the same size, or probably smaller actually than a neon dwarf rainbow fish, or dwarf neon rainbow fish, a prey cox. So manageable size with all this color. Look at that guy with his blaze on. I just think they're hard to beat. So that might be the one. That being said, I'll walk through the warehouse and see one blazing up, and I'll be like, nope, it's that one. Chilotharina blairi, when it's fully colored up and dancing, that's hard to beat too. But that one gets bigger, and that makes them a little harder to keep for some people. Less options for who can keep it. So for what kind of tanks you can keep them in. Yeah. Do honey gourami get the same virus as the dwarf gourami? They do. Do you plan on stocking honey gouramis? I want to, but as of yet, I can't find a strain or a supplier that has them free of the iridovirus. So yes, honey gouramis, tuna, is that what it is? Tuna, I believe is the species name. One of an absolutely stunning little gourami. Fantastic, peaceful, awesome. But riddled with the virus, unfortunately. Riddled with iridovirus. So I've yet to find a place I can get them virus-free. I hope to, and if I do, I'll get them immediately. But so far I've been looking for years, and I haven't found it. But, it took me years to find virus-free pearl gouramis and virus-free dwarf gouramis. So I haven't given up. But I haven't found them yet. All right, one more, and then I think I'm gonna close this down because I got an import in this evening right before I went live here, and I need to go around and check out all the fish and that we import. Now they're in the tanks, and make sure they're set up properly and all that. So the last one, JS Dotted Creations. We got our Amazon puffer in yesterday, and he is so cute, very active. Oh, they are cute, aren't they? Yeah. One of the greatest puffers. For those that don't know, Amazon puffers are special for a couple of reasons. The first is these little guys don't require salt water. So that's awesome. You can keep them in full fresh water. They're from the Amazon River, literally the Amazon River. No salt. And so you don't have to keep mixing brackish water and check your salinity and get that irritation up and down your arms when you work in salty tanks. So I like that a lot. They're also not too big. A lot of puffers are tank busters. A Fahaka, a Mabu, a lot of them get pretty darn big. These top out at 3 to 4 inches probably in an aquarium. There's probably some record of like a 5-inch monster somewhere, but in general, think about 3 inches, maybe 4 inches for a really big one. So manageable size, and they don't kill each other. Most puffers absolutely destroy each other. Most puffers, if they meet, they will duel to the death. Not these. These like being in big groups. In the Amazon River, these congregate by the thousands, tens of thousands in these big communal groups. And they really like company. The only thing about them is their teeth grow like a hamster's teeth. So you have to give them food that helps wear down their teeth. If they don't get enough of that, you've got to trim the teeth. We do have a video on how to do that at the Dan's Fish, at our YouTube channel here. So if you want to know how to trim Amazon puffer teeth, check that video out. We go through it step by step. Yeah. So that is an awesome choice. I just think Amazon puffers are fantastic. All right, with that, I'm going to shut her down because I got a lot to do tonight. But before I do, thank you to Denise for gifting 5 Dan's Fish memberships. That's awesome. Denise, thank you for your continued support. And congratulations to anyone that just became a member due to Denise's generosity. With that, I want to thank the moderators for moderating. I want to thank the channel members for being members. I want to thank anyone that gave memberships away. Thank you again, Denise. And I want to thank everyone that threw money at us. Thanks for the super chats. If you were active in the chat, thanks for participating. If you were not, I still love you. Hail the Lurker Nation. And if you're listening to the replay, hello from the past. If you are listening to the podcast, by some miracle, that means I finally got these loaded up to the podcast. And I'm glad you're able to listen. Hopefully I'm killing some time on your drive or at work or working in your fish room. Anyways, until next week, we'll be back next week, same bat time, same bat channel. Till then, I really hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everybody.